Right. Well, guys, there's five of us here, so it'll be the core five. But the end of October, I think I've posted all the photos not only on groups.io, but also on Facebook if you are refused to be part of groups.io or you have friends who are not members who want to see them. And of course, the video. And I do apologize. Much to my surprise, my pretty new Fire tablet has somewhat different software behavior that I didn't anticipate. So here I managed to complete, it must run 30-minute cycle. I completed the outdoor tables, walked into the inside of the building, and I don't think I realized the thing stopped. It may have made a sound, but gets noisy in the building with people, all the background din.
Sure.
And so I'm walking around, like a little kid. You give him a camera that's, has no film in it. Click, click, click. So I'm walking around. Oh, look at this! I'll have a great video. And then I looked at the results and I'm like, ugh. And so I was debating what to do, whether you bother posting. But I said, you know what? I did hit two-thirds of the show.
Oh yeah, it was still a good half hour long thing of looking at cool stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, and there was, people are always pretty, willing to be videoed or will talk to you.
It gives us an opportunity. I'm always, whether it's you by yourself or sometimes when you walk around with Tom, it's even
Yeah.
worse because then the focus is always on the wrong stuff. I'm yelling at the screen. Wait, you didn't say
Yeah.
anything about that. I want to know about that over there. Pan back over there. I want to see that.
I know, well, I am going to look into getting a alternate video camera platform because while the camera on the Fire tablet is nicely improved, and I thought the video quality was actually pretty good. I thought it was notably different from the other one. Now I could pay more attention and try to do it that way, but I don't really like being timed out that way. I don't see why you can't simply video record up to, let's say, an hour. And I'm not planning to do an hour's video, but for me, if you end up talking to somebody, it's easy to burn a minute. If you multiply by the number of tables you have, well, the numbers go up pretty quickly, or at least number of sellers. And before you know it, I can hit 45 minutes, not intentionally. I try to be fast about it, but it's you also don't want to just go boom and you don't see anything on people's tables because that's not really any interesting either. So it's a delicate balance. Um, and we had such a good turnout this event that it wouldn't seem right if I didn't cover everybody in some way. At least, well, the goal was inside too, but there was some really good indoor vendors too. But at any rate, I'm going to rethink that and see if maybe we'll end up getting a club resource of having a dedicated camera to walk around. I just have to decide the right price point. I'm going to spend silly money because we have money, for the club resource for that, but I just don't want to, get too crazy with it. Something that's, does the job that as good as my device can do, except a little more friendlier. Something you'd also just hold like this instead of I'm kind of walking around with this,
Yeah.
10-inch diameter, 10-inch screen, which is a little harder.
I'm surprised you didn't trip over some things with that thing in front of your face, not being able to see people to bump into or things to step on or trip with your feet or no, you did a good job. It's just, how can some people are, they're wanting to see all the 20s and 30s radios and other people want to see components and parts or, some 60s stuff. So, you'd be impossible to show everything for
Right.
everyone.
Yeah, that's why I focus on the stills as much, or try to hit as much as I can of interesting stuff. And the video camera kind of gives you a little bit. I also want to try to make sure I draw people into it. So just say something on the camera because sometimes people are in conversations. I don't want to interrupt them, so I just move on. Otherwise, I'd be waiting, and the video just goes longer and longer and longer. So it's a delicate balance. But if I can get somebody in there to say a few words, it's always fun. In fact, I was disappointed that John Wetherill wasn't at his table when I took it because he's always good for a good quip or two, but that's okay.
Even Tom Pereira would have been good.
Oh, Tom's great. Every time I see him, he wants to talk about. In fact, well, you saw I walked by his table. He wasn't present. He was probably out and about, looking for the great find. But you saw his Russian crypto
Cool.
Yeah, so, that was pretty cool.
Well, the
Yeah.
first 15 minutes or so, I couldn't figure out what that noise was in the background when you were
Hmm.
going down the other row.
Oh,
And
right,
then,
yeah, because
and then
he was across from me, so I was going down the first row. So starting with Roger Sansusi's table, he's always the kickoff because he's right there by the entrance gate, as you know.
yeah,
And so I go down there, and then the opposite direction is Tom. So you could hear tick 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 in the background. Yeah, I was
it's
noticing
like,
that
what is
background.
that? Is that something in my house? Is there something wrong with my
It's in my
PC? Like,
head. I can't get it out.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so it was a great. I mean, I think overall attendance I think was good, but better than May. We had more vendors, and I think we have more foot traffic. And I haven't done a full survey by any stretch to know how sellers did. I heard some
And then
grumbled a bit.
the two young guys that had the 58 Chrysler radio, I'm like, look at that. It's like if I still had my 57 Chrysler, I would have bought that radio from them, depending on how much they wanted for it. They had some other interesting stuff there too. And maybe it wasn't them or it was somebody close to them. Someone had like a pair of, I guess they were a pair of mono tube amplifiers, but no tubes were in them. But I could tell, the big transformers that were on it, they must have been pretty high quality amplifiers, but I couldn't identify them
Right.
just from the picture. But I would have been clamoring over those. And it's got to be a little bit of the grass is always greener thing, but it seems like the last couple of shots that I've seen of the free table had like much better stuff on it than I used to ever come away with in
Oh,
the old days when I was up there. It's like, oh, why wasn't that stuff on the table
oh,
when I was there?
indubitably. Even
Yeah.
like me. Now, I mentioned in the last meeting, even me, who never, I've deposited things, but I've never taken something away. I did.
Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, the radio, the one time that I thought about taking that Grundig portable, I looked at it and said, and you got it, and well, I'm glad you did. I
Yep.
thought about it, but I hemmed and hawed, and I said, and so you grabbed it. But this time I said, oh, I can't dot. I just have one of these Panasonic, and I said, oh, look at it. I said, how I'll take it home and just see what's wrong with it. If the thing turns out to be junk, I'll just put it back on the free table, and I'll write up what works and doesn't work on it. And the thing actually works pretty decently. It works
Mm-hmm.
fine. It acts a little bit weird on FM stereo. In fact, it doesn't seem to work. Whereas on normal FM, it's fine. And I can't tell and it sounds like it's stereo to me. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on with this just yet. I just haven't had any time to debug it and see whether it's really a problem or even worth chasing. But
Well,
for
it,
free, and I think I'll take some pictures. When I'm back in the next meeting, and I'll you'll see that the cabinet's not in the best of condition. It's not awful, but it certainly needs improvement. I mean, I could get a donor case, if I really am serious about it. But I guess the real test will be whether it works with a 8-track tape to see whether, how really good this is. But I can see it functioning. The lights work for every channel, and I can see the the head bounce move up, when you
yeah.
hit the button empty, but who knows if it's aligned, right? So, but you know what? But to your point, it was a great free table. I saw there were a lot of traffic effect. I would say there's more for a given table. There were more people at the free table than any other table at the place because people coming home with some good stuff. Whereas, yeah, some years ago, people were putting out stuff that like, really? This is not even
Yep.
vintage electronics related. Get that stuff off of here. I mean, why would you put a coffee pot on there or something? It's something like that. Yeah. It was to that point. It's like, come on, really? That's really stretching the meaning a little bit, boys.
Yep.
But I think people have fortunately cleaned up their act a little bit. And for the most part, my sense is people are good about taking stuff away that they brought that didn't find a home. We seem to have less of that, whereas it was getting to be a problem there for a little bit, where poor presidents were stuck having to haul stuff home and not to know what to do with it.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it was a really nice event. I really enjoyed seeing everybody, and hopefully the video gave some sense. I don't know, how sellers did overall. I've heard mixed, like I've had only a couple of feedback where people seem to imply that, well, it wasn't that great for them. Um, Um, and I think they're looking for the big show in March to be the ones where maybe they can make the most. Because I think maybe in the winter, people might be, maybe because it is a really big show, it's inside, people maybe feel inclined to open up their wallets because it's been through the winter, January, February, nothing to do. I'll bring something home. It seems that way because I know the last
Yeah, I always had the impression, rightly or wrongly, that the spring and fall shows in Brookline were kind of like member to member type sales without a lot of external foot traffic, whereas the big show is,
yeah.
the whole community from all around New England.
Right.
People come
Yeah,
up
absolutely.
for
And
that.
people bring their best stuff too. You can tell. I
Right.
mean, it's like, I'll see like, make people might hold back and and they might get a better price instead of going through all the trouble of schlepping it to the Brookline event. But now Brookline though, it's kind of funny. Sometimes you'll see great foot track and people walking out with stuff. So it's
Yep.
so hard to predict. And we had a great day, so the weather was not going to be the problem. Not like May where it was kind of, it was fine. The rain held up until about 11. That starts spitting a little bit. But that's enough that when people say, "Oh, vintage electronics," and there's a lot of it's outside. Yeah, forget it. I don't get anything wet. But so that's why I think we took a little bit of a loss on the show. Not a big loss, but a little bit of a loss. Whereas this time, I think we're in the black. On this, I forget the final numbers, but I think we were so. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, I guess the only other announcement I have to note is there isn't, we're reaching this time of year where now we're running out of things to do because the height of our activity was probably around October, oddly enough, because we had so many things going on early October between Year Fest and um there was Near Fest, there was the Antique Wireless Association conference, and the New England Wireless and Steam Museum, Steam Up, and record shows, all that. So we really were like packed in early October, and now things are quieting down. The only thing I can announce between now and the next Zoom meeting is there's going to be called the original New England Vinyl Record and CD Show in Dedham, Massachusetts. And that's from 9:30 to 3. So if you're still looking for that vinyl or CDs, that's the place to go.
And well, sometimes they have associated electronics, not a lot, but there might be some, 8-track players or phonographs or something that might be on somebody's table as well. Plus it's between now and Christmas time, there's other shows that, they might be quote unquote toy shows, but that might be a place that has novelty radios, and it depends what you're into.
Exactly. In fact, funny you mentioned that, Noah. There is in Dedham, I think it's the Holiday Inn or one of the hotels. They have a vintage toy show there that I used to go to. I haven't gone in a while because I used to, maybe I come home with something here or there. I haven't found my way down there, so I'll have to look out and see whether that is. But who knows? Maybe I'll shoot down there, go to both events if I have some cycles to do so. But anyway, so those are the announcements. So are there any announcements on your guys' side or anything we should be aware of before we go round robin through everybody? I hear a deafening no. That's fine.
Well, I could tell you about some things happening down here, but I don't think anyone's going to jump on a plane to Texas to go see it. We're pretty geographically diverse on this call with the people we have. So
that's true. We got actually a good part of this spread out between us. We got Wisconsin, Arizona, Texas, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Not bad. Not bad at all. So we're pretty good. That's pretty cool. But well, okay. Then who would like to start? How about all right, Rob?
I just have a quick question. You share my screen.
Oh, you know what? Let me give you share. Apologies. Let me give share Oops.
All right.
Security. While you're got to go to host tools, I fell asleep at the wheel. I forgot to usually enable it when I set up the call. You're good to go, Rob. Sorry about that.
All right. Oh boy. See a schematic?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the weird stuff. These three tubes, these first three, are 26, type 26. They're 1.5 volts, which it gets it right here, at 1 amp.
That's about right.
Yeah, but now look at they have these coils in the filament, and they are actually coupled to the plate, and the next stage, they're on the same form, and they're very thin wire. So the only way you get 1.5 volts here is to put about 2.5 here. But my question is, why these coils in the filaments? I have some horrible oscillations, and I don't know, it shouldn't be because of these.
No, my guess would have been those were there to stop that from happening.
Yeah, but well, yeah, then I'm wondering, see, I had to take each of these coils assemblies are in a copper can, and the wire was rubber and cracked. Not all of it, but there was enough of it where I had to take the thing apart. And there was also some cloth covered wire that it actually, well, it left marks on the chassis where it was laying there. So either it got hot or it's rotting or something. So anyways, I had to take them apart, and I'm wondering if I got the polarity of these wrong. I imagine that could cause an oscillation. Not exactly sure how, but why they would couple the filaments to the plate coil,
I mean, schematically, it doesn't look like they're coupling. It looks like the other two are coupled, and that just looks like an inductor kind of off by itself. But you're saying physically?
They're on the same form. And on that form, the two coils in the filaments are first, and then the plate is on the outside, and then the next stage long coil goes under all of them, or at least under the plate on out for about 3 inches. It's just very strange. I can't figure out why they would do that. And it is a Sonoran radio, and this is a schematic for Bosch 66, which I was hoping Howard was here because he said he did one of these. And he did mention that those cans are a nightmare. Yeah, a little bit. They sure are. Anyways, the schematic is close. It's not
There's a capacitor there, huh? There's a trimmer is number 19, and then there's a capacitor is number 25, and
no, the number 19 is the 3-gang.
Oh, it's
18, 19, and 20. Yeah, that's a 3-gang capacitor. The trimmers are actually like 25, 24, 24, 25, and I think it's 26. Yeah. They don't show them as variable, but those are trimmers.
Okay.
And
I'm sure you've tried to adjust those.
oh yeah, you can get them to peak. The thing is around 650 or so, it's a horrible oscillation, and then again at a 1300, and it's tunable. It just tunes right over to the oscillation, and I mean it is big signals. So something is oscillating through the tune circuit. Yeah, it's pretty weird. I just got to that point today because I had to take those cans out, had to replace a lot of the wires, and I don't know. It's just
the strange thing is that it's the filament. It's not like it's a screen or a grid or anything. It's the filament.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think I'd be tempted. I'm not telling you to do this because I sometimes do things that aren't so good. But if they're they might not even be very accessible if you took things apart and then put it back together again. But take a couple little alligator clips and a piece of wire, and I'd just like short that little sucker out and see what happens.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing that. Here's the other weird thing is there's these two 1 microfarad capacitors, and they are off of the filament lines. The weird thing is as old as this radio is, and it looked like they're square boxes, right? But when I disconnect them and I measure them, they're like 1.6 microfarad with 2.5 ohm ESR. They look great. That's weird, you know? And yet it looked like stuff was oozing out of them. But yeah, very strange. Well, anyways, just wanted to get some thoughts on it. I'm thinking of just wiring the filaments directly to the 1.5 volts and just cut those things out entirely.
Yeah, just to see what happens. You know what it takes to make them glow for thermionic emissions, and they can't be part of like I said, if it was a screen or a grid or something, there might be some weird part of like a AVC type circuit, you know, a automatic volume control type thing, but not based on changing filament voltage, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, it's just strange. Anyways, that's really all I have. So I'm
okay
working on this thing right now.
Well, of course, this will be recorded in case Howard or others get a chance to see it. But worst comes to worst, Rob, bring it up at the next round robin in case Howard, because should be a Wednesday in case Wednesday works better. But
yeah, okay. Well, I'll see what I.
But yeah, this is curious. So it's certainly an older Sonora too, being in 1927.
Wow. Yeah, what's interesting though is putting an antenna on it. I can get a couple of local stations, but they're distorted because of the oscillations that are just making their way in there. And the audio is pretty bad, but loud. I'll give it that. It is loud. There's just a ton of gain. So I don't know if I've got, something else going on. Well, this is our volume control. It takes the signal and shorts it out,
Wow.
That pot was junk. Yeah, it was complete junk. It's a wire wound, and it's open in many areas. So I just put in another pot that I had, just like, half a meg, something like that. And that seems to do, work okay. Anyways, all right, I'll stop the share.
Yeah, that was interesting.
There we go.
Interesting. So, Noah, what you got going on?
Well, I've got one of those. See if I can do this. I don't need to share. I can just.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
this is one of those things where like you're over a neighbor's house. You know that other neighbor that I got that awful
Zenith?
The Zenith with the broken wires, and I had to change all the wires and blah 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 blah, and so I had to buy a dial glass. Well, in a different room of their house, so that's the woman who lives there. That was her grandparents' radio.
Okay.
In the same house, the husband has this absolute toilet of a console from like, I don't know, the mid to late 60s. I think it's like 1966.
Okay.
But he's got, great memories of his childhood of like playing his 45s on it and playing 8-tracks in it. It's, of all things, it's an Olympic, and it's got this kind of, it's cheesy cabinet with sort of like the cheesy red grill cloth behind it. It's just awful. It's more or less, it's more of a toy than it is an actual like stereo. This is not like some hidden gem of a find where it's a Fisher,
right.
or some, or a Magnavox or something like that. This is a freaking Olympic that like you can't even come up with a schematic for. It's basically kind of it's early solid state. It's kind of a glorified transistor radio with but it's got a turntable.
Yeah.
And it's got AM FM stereo, and it's got 8-track.
Hey, speaking of that, does it work?
So, so I said, all right, I'll take a look at it, and so it does and it doesn't. And because of what it is, it's like if you were, I have taken it all apart. The mechanical cleanup and everything was the easiest part.
Yep.
Can't remember how to turn this thing on. Here we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, we got some lights. Okay.
So the radio reception is really terrible, but I think part of that is due to the switch. I have to really fiddle with the switch to like get it. That's the FM light that's on right now.
Got it.
And I get virtually nothing on AM, and I get kind of crappy reception on FM. But if you pull the chassis out of this thing, take this plastic off.
Yep.
It's not much bigger than this little plastic area. It's about a 4-inch wide by 6-inch long. It literally looks like a 60s transistor radio with like little discrete 3-legged transistors and little tiny square cans with little flat blade screwdriver spots in them that you can twist them. And it's like, it's just junk. You can't get a schematic for it. And it's like, he did say he wanted to play records and tapes on it. So mechanically, at least, I worked on things, and I'm not risking any good tapes in it, but so I got my Frank Sinatra tape playing in there. So it plays. It doesn't always light up the numbers.
Yep.
But it does change tracks.
Hey.
So I got that part working, and it doesn't eat the tapes. And then I guess probably one of the better things I think that turned out was it doesn't make a liar out of me.
All right.
Hope I have to put it on phono. Of course, I got to have I think it might need a new stylus, but as you could maybe hear through the distortion of a bad needle or a bad 45, of course it's. So had to play an old Inagata Davida. Let's see if I reject it.
Well, it seems to be doing the basic things correctly.
It's doing the basic things correctly.
Well, geez, I wonder how much.
Crystal Blue Persuasion.
There you go.
But it has like really crappy, just cheap, like 8-inch garbage speakers in it. Like, I don't even know if the voice coils are maybe rubbing a little bit, or.
Yep.
And it's like, it's really kind of a piece of junk, but it's going to be one of those things that I think once he starts playing his records on it, he says he's still got some of his 45s, and it'll be like, well, this one sounds a little better than the other one. So sometimes I don't know whether it's.
Yeah.
It may be a case of him coming to the realization that, you just see now it's at the last record. So when there's no more records, it does cycle and shut off. So,
so the function.
I have it functioning. One of the things I was thinking, maybe what I would do, just because I have them laying around, I have a receiver. I have multiple other receivers. I was thinking if I took the receiver that I have and like ran the leads from the phonograph, ran the leads from the 8-track player into the receiver using these same speakers and see if it sounded better. Like maybe it's that crappy little transistor amplifier that's doesn't make it sound so good, or maybe I'll prove that it's the speakers that are kind of shot, and maybe I can find another pair of 8-inch. They look like they're probably 8-inch arbitrary like Radio Shack speakers that are just bolted to the front with basically an open back.
Sure.
Or he's just going to come to the realization it's like, yeah, well, when I was 9 and I played my 45s on it, I thought it was great, and now that I'm 55 and I'm playing those same records and having grown up and listened to, probably he's got one of these, $50,000-$60,000 Texas type pickup trucks where like it's probably got a better stereo in the cab of his Ford pickup than this thing is. So maybe he'll just have to, it's like, well, I got it working again for you, but sometimes you just can't go back. You're best to keep those memories, or you street rod it, you put better speakers inside of it, you put mount a different receiver inside of it if it would make the 8-track player and the record changer is not a bad record changer. I mean, it's a BSR.
Yep.
And it has adjustments on it. I mean, it's got a queuing mechanism and it's got a control for like the grams of weight.
Sure.
And like sort of a anti-skating kind of thing. And you can select between 7, 10, 12-inch records to tell it what to play. And it's got all 4 speeds.
Yeah.
And I have it mechanically functioning. And so, maybe I do have a bunch of other cartridges, styli, whatever the plural is. And maybe I could try another stylus and try another receiver, throw some other speakers inside of it. Maybe it's got a street rod it, or I just say, well, I got it working again. Where do you want to go with this? It's like, it didn't really cost me. I didn't put any money into it. It was all sweat equity. It was all time. I just, removed the record changer, removed the 8-track player, and cleaned out all the old hardened grease and stuff and re-lubricated things. And so they all work. The 8-track player doesn't eat tapes and it does cycle through its channels. And I've played LPs as well as 45s on the record changer, and it doesn't skip and it doesn't like do that slow down, hang up thing while it's rejecting. It does everything that it's supposed to do. It just sounds like a crappy, cheap, junky console from the 60s. So it's like,
so you're thinking you're going to put in a crate amplifier.
Well, yeah, and it'd have to be a crate amplifier and a
crate receiver,
set of speakers, and a crate receiver and a crate pair of speakers, and then see what the 8-track and record player sound like when it's got a better amp and better speakers to play through.
Still, it's interesting that I didn't realize Olympic hung on that long. And maybe they were just surprised that was probably made in Japan, maybe at this point,
Oh, I'm almost positive. It's like I don't even know that it's real wood. It might be some kind of weird composite. Yeah, I guess it's wood. It's wood, but everything on the inside is all plastic.
Yeah, well, that was pretty much prevalent, pretty much with everything. Well, many manufacturers of that.
And the weird red velvet, speaker cloth thing is like, oh man, this thing is nasty.
Oh yeah, screaming late 60s, early 70s. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So maybe I should at least take the speakers out and just test them independently, or move them in and out, make sure no voice coils are rubbing, or that there's not a bunch of dirt or debris that's like inside the cone that's rattling around or something. But anyway, so that's my dilemma. I can't, my phone will not multitask, but I did do the classic. I put the jack in so that you could hook up an iPod, or you could, I played my phone through it, and that actually seemed to sound better.
Interesting.
So, maybe if I clean the heads a little better, or the head a little better on the 8-track, maybe there's some oxidation on there I didn't quite get off all the way. And maybe if I try a different needle in the turntable, maybe that'll bring things up a notch. But I don't believe it sounded very good when it was new, but it was just, if you bought something of this quality to put in your living room in the mid 60s, you didn't know any better, so.
Yeah. Truth be told, but I think it's the first Olympic of that era that I've seen. So, I don't think there's a lot of them out there, and maybe for various reasons,
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, you could probably count the transistors on the fingers of both hands, and it's a stereo. So it's like, I think maybe, the reception's crappy because it's just a crappy radio, and the sound's crappy because it's maybe a 4-watt amplifier or something,
Right.
I don't know.
Right. It may be all show and no go, nice big
Yeah,
case.
yeah, and not even much for show unless you like,
Yeah.
red velvet speaker cloth behind
Right.
odd looking, it's just nasty. It's like, put it this way, if I saw it on the side of the road for free, I'd leave.
Well, there's one of two possibilities. It was even awful for the people that back in the era, or or people did love it, but they once they put it in the living room, listened to it for a while, they thought, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, if he still has his 45s that he played on this, 40 or 50 years ago, and he puts them back on this and listens to them on this, versus like getting into his truck with either his Bluetooth to his phone and just went off and, streamed that same song through the radio and stereo in his pickup truck, it would probably sound 10 times better. So is it just, it's just the nostalgia thing? I guess they're away for the next 2 weeks. So I still have time to play around with it a little bit to see if I can determine, is this just the way it's supposed to sound, or, will the speaker sound better with a better amp, or if I try different speakers, will the 8-track and the radio sound better with different speakers? And so I still have a week or so before they come back, and then I can just say, well, here it is. I didn't hear it in 1966, but it may not have sounded much better than this in 1966. So here it is. Do with it what you will. I don't know.
Right. You have to decide whether sentimentality is
right
worth it for you.
Well, and I could broach the subject with him of the possibility of street rotting it. What does he want to do with it? If he wants to throw some money at it, we could put better speakers in it and a better amplifier in it. I really don't think he wants to listen to the radio.
Yeah.
I think he wants to play his old 45s or some of his old 8-tracks, and
right.
Question
is it the aesthetics then at that point? Because at that point, the money you put in is to just buy something else.
Right.
Or is it the aesthetics mean a lot to him that no matter, because, at that point, hey, man, it's just a matter of personal taste, or sentimental feelings. For us, we might go, I think we want that in my living room, but other people might really, because of growing up with it.
Exactly. Well, it's like I still have my junior juke, that I had when I was like 6 or 7 years old, but I don't want to sit around and listen to it. It's just there to look at it, to say, yeah, there it is. That's what got me started down this terrible path.
Yeah.
But
by the way, I assume you're intentionally connecting in there. Hope we got a little bit of a.
Yeah, well, I'm switching back to my computer so I can kill this on the phone.
Got it, because you look like you're only ahead and nothing else. There we go. Ooh, the body is still attached to the head. No, it is getting close to Halloween. Who knows? Maybe it does detach on him, float around. I love it when Bruce Burgess used to occasionally attend, and he'd go into that very dark mode. You always sees the head. You think it's just floating out into space.
There we go.
Filming an episode of Svengoolie here.
Yes.
There we go.
So
Noah Gooley. No Gooley.
Right. I'm now off the phone and on the computer, back at the desk with the lights on, and I just even feel a little dirty touching that old 1960s. Like, did you used to have a cat? Was a cat living in this thing? Or, it's just like, were your parents smokers? Is there like nicotine? It's like, I mean, it's not that grungy, but it's just,
Yeah.
you know,
You're right. But the problem is, I guess, when you clean it all up, it's like, well, it doesn't look any better.
no,
You know.
no, I'm not. I mean, that's the kind of thing you clean that with, especially with Greg on the call. You know, you clean that with
Powers
like
on there.
get it with a little lemon pledge, you know,
Yeah.
and an old diaper, and that's like, okay, that's about it. You know,
Yeah, you're done.
there it is.
Whatever
We're
you do
not,
to it, no, it's not going to erase that maroon grill cloth.
no,
No.
However much you
exactly.
clean it, it's
Yeah, no, you have to decide whether you want to replace it or that's just part of this, what made it
It,
special.
that's
yeah.
right. It was, you know, it was in mom's living room, and I played my records on it. You know, and it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, but you were also 9 and didn't know any better. So,
yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
but
But
anyway,
well, cool. That was fun.
thank you for indulging me in that. Like I
Oh,
said,
no, it's fun. I mean, I get to see stuff I've never seen before, and as curious as it may be, the adventures of yet another something that found its way home to Noah's house.
yeah.
And
Well, no, it's on. I don't know if you could tell from looking at it. It was on a furniture dolly
Saw
because
that.
it
Yes.
wheeled over into that spare bedroom because it was too big to put out in my little workshop area. As I took components out of it, I take the turntable out to the workshop and work
Right.
on that and then bring it back. But no, it didn't come off of the dolly because it's getting out of here as soon as I can possibly get it out of here. But it's just like
That's right.
I feel kind of bad, you know, like say, well, yeah, I got it all running again.
Still sucks.
It's yeah, it's like it's probably still performing now back the way it was when you were a kid, but you can do a lot better than this now. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
long is that thing, Noah? Is that about 4 feet or so? Or is it longer than that?
Barely, a little less than 4
Yeah.
and less than 2 deep. It's not a big thing. It's, you know, it's again,
Some of
it's
those
not
are
even,
really 6 feet long, I think.
yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no, no.
The little Zenith that went out was like a carrier deck. You could land a helicopter on the thing.
Yeah, oh, the big old Zenith. Yeah, this is
Oh,
not
yeah.
in the,
It was
like I
there.
said, this is not in the Zenith or Magnavox or Cape Heart or
Yeah.
what's another one? You know, certainly not Fisher. You know, this is in the like Montgomery Ward.
Right.
You know, it's just nasty.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's relatively, small by, by the standards they could, like the Zeniths and so forth. I mean, they have those flat tops, you could put a steam catapult on there and get Jeff's take off on
No,
them.
it was definitely a 2-person lift, whereas you know this thing is like not heavy at all because it's
Yeah.
probably fall particle board with some kind of veneer on top. I doubt it's like solid wood anywhere. Maybe the
Yeah.
top is, I don't know, but it's like it's just as my Scottish friends from Hewlett Packard and Edinburgh would say, it's crap,
That's funny.
but it's his crap. So I mean,
That's right. And that's why it's on dollies.
and I can't, you know, I can't just tell them, okay, I got it working again, but it's crap, you know. It's like, oh, I can't, you know, I can't wait to, oh, if you could ever get it to where I could hear my 45s on it again, I still have my 45s. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, turntable works great. It's a great turntable. I just think that turntable will probably maybe with a new stylus and
Could
hooked
be.
up to other audio equipment, I
Right.
think could sound pretty good. But
Yeah.
anyhow,
Yeah. Well, but cool. Hey, thanks for sharing. It was fun, get to see these things, see what strange pieces
it's
are
a dilemma
available.
on various levels, you know, trying to make it the making it work again was not as difficult as trying to figure out what I'm going to say to him about it, you know, when I give or I just say nothing and maybe he's fine with it the way it is because he'll be so thrilled that it
Yeah.
actually works again. I don't know.
Hey, yeah, you never know. It sounds like you've made incremental improvements, but
You know, it's like if you were a classic car restorer and then like someone brought you like just a really awful car that wasn't worthy of restoration and asked you to fix it all up for him and you did and you knew it was a toilet when it was brand new, So like, well, here it is. There's your perfectly restored toilet. Get it. Go have fun with that.
So you're thinking, is that a Yugo?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. One of those things.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, just a quick tangent. I saw one about 4 or 5 years ago that looked like it rolled out of the showroom. I said that's probably one of one.
Well,
Yeah.
like anything else, some of those are actually pretty collectible now because they all
Yeah,
fell apart. So
exactly.
so now they're rare, kind of like the Lacar by Renault.
Right.
I do think a Yugo is the only car that ever went over the side of the Mackinac Bridge. It got caught up in some wind.
Oh, right.
I
Sure.
think it's the only car in all these years that went right over the side.
The guy's just driving along and it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was hesitating there. I didn't say Yugo because I don't know that a Yugo from a car perspective is as bad as this Olympic is from a stereo perspective.
Wow.
It could even be worse. I mean,
Wow.
literally, if I pulled that chassis out to show you guys, it's literally one circuit board that's no more than 4 inches by 6 inches with a bunch of little discrete components on it, and 8 watt resistors and tiny little 3-legged transistors that used to plug into the little sockets in the old transistor radios that I never bothered to learn to work on. It's awful. And
One thing I was thinking, Noah, does that record player use the same needle for all speeds, or does it have?
No, it has a flip over cartridge. So I have it on the LP position for 33 and 45, and then you can flip it over. Maybe I should flip it over and play a 78 and see how that sounds.
Yeah, try that once.
Yeah.
The grooves from a 45 to a 33 are even wider apart.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thanks, Noah. That was fun. Certainly
Right.
interesting tale.
Fun and depressing at the same time. It's like when I got it all mechanically working again, it was like, okay, now let's see what it sounds like. And it's like, oh.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. But so Russ, what's going on with you?
Not too much, John. I can probably grab something here.
All right.
I hadn't seen one like this. Picked this up at a local antique store. It's a Delco.
Oh, sure.
Interesting because it's the wood cabinet and plastic front.
Oh, that's actually handsome.
Yeah, it's not bad. It came through with free mouse poop, so that's always good.
Wow. Usually that's sold separately.
Yeah,
that's right. So yeah, it actually works really well. Just cleaned it up and fixed it up, and here it is. So that's really all that's new with me.
Yeah,
I like it.
Little red grill cloth that looks like a curtain hanging behind that screen there, and that would be perfect.
It's I don't know if you can see it, but it's it's actually black, and it seemed to have been completely covered with mouse fur, and I just used some shipping tape, kind of stuck it on there, peeled it off, and ended up getting all the little fur off there.
One of those roller things that you use to get the lint off your suit.
Yeah, that would be the idea. I just used tape, so it worked.
Wow, actually, it looks condition-wise, you cleaned
great.
up nicely. It looks great.
Yeah, cleaned up pretty good.
Yeah,
probably sounds better than that Olympic.
Wow. There you go. Come on, you could have dueling radios.
Yeah,
but that's great. That's terrific, Russ. Really like it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
that's probably from what, the mid-50s, mid to late.
That was 48.
48. Wow, that's older than I thought.
And what was interesting is the chassis had a metal cover on the bottom of it as well. So Mickey didn't get in there. So once I opened that up, took that off, everything was relatively untouched in there.
That's great.
Nice. All right. So, hey, Len, how are you? How things with you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Things good to see you as always. All's good.
Good to see you guys too.
Anything good going on to share or?
No, I don't have anything.
Oh, that's okay. Just glad you're able to make it. Cool. Well, Then how about Greg? How about if I share what you shared with me? Let me just make sure. I think I, yeah, no, we could use a good story. Let me just make sure I've got it. Yes, I do. So let me go and share. Let me go to the Zoom window, share my screen. And all right, you guys let me know if you see this.
As you can see, that's not a radio.
That is not a radio.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool, by the way. So do
That
tell
is
us about this bike.
That is a 1957 Harley Davidson Hummer. It's a 125cc. It was a two-stroke. And that's another thing I do. My dad and I actually restore these things.
Wow, that's really good looking. A Hummer. It's funny, not the Hummer we're used to seeing on the roads these days.
Yeah, if you zoom in on the gas tank, it actually says
yeah, I see that right up
Yeah.
there.
What's the other one that they have that's more like a scooter even than smaller than this one? I can't remember the name of it though, but it's a collectible Harley as well. Can't
well, in the
remember.
60s, they made one called an M50 or an M65. They were like a moped.
Yeah, well, but it had like a name. It wasn't like Hummer, but it did have a
Oh,
little.
well, they had the Rapido, they had Baja, they had a Sprint, they had all kinds of different names. Sprints were actually bigger than these. They were 250, but anyhow, this was a bike that came from Michigan. The guy brought it over on the ferry. There's a large ferry that goes between Michigan and Wisconsin across Lake Michigan, and it fits something like 140 cars on it. This guy drove over with his pickup truck and had this in the back, and
Wow.
we restored it for him. And he saw my radio collection. He said, "Oh, I happen to have a radio. Maybe I can bring it along when I pick up the bike." I said, well, okay, I'll take a look at it. And
You
so
see, let me try to go to the next. Why am
yeah,
I?
you can show the other side of it if you.
There's another picture of this. Why am I not able to increment to the photos of my? Oh, there it is. There's another look on it, by the way. I really like that. That is really neat.
It's definitely neat.
Yeah, it shared the same wheels and fenders and gas tank from one of the bigger bikes, like a Sportster.
Yeah, that's cool. I've never seen one of those before.
Yeah, it uses a magneto ignition. There's no battery. So
How fun. How fun. And neat. I love the color combination. This orange and black. Hey, suitable for Halloween.
Well,
yeah.
it's the Harley Davidson, right? It's got to be
Yeah.
orange and black.
Yeah, but I really like
It's a hardtail, right? With just the only spring.
Those springs under the seat, that's your rear suspension.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Now, is it a loud bike, or is it fairly tame?
Well, it being a two-stroke, it's fairly loud, but it smokes quite a bit because
yeah.
there's actually a cup under the gas cap, and you have to mix the oil with the gas and shake it up.
Yep.
Of course, if you put a little too much oil in it, the more it smokes, the less mosquitoes you have.
Yeah, exactly right. Perfect for summertime driving. Well, it's funny. Speaking of two-stroke, my all my family is somewhat tangential, but since we're talking about motorcycles and two-stroke, is all my family, and includes my extended relatives, were all early adopters of European cars. And my dad owned one of the early Saabs. He had a Saab 93 from 1959. And it was a two-stroke motor. So you had to mix the oil with the gas, and that kind of threw a lot of gas stations off because they wanted to have you just add this thing of oil with your gas. And they're like, no, you can't do that. At least but yes, you're right. They puff away, and you certainly you could see them driving from the ISS if they had one up back then. But yeah, no, that's really cool.
I was kind of hoping Tom Pereira would be here because these were actually based on a German motorcycle, a DKW.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
DK, that's interesting.
After the war, Harley was able to get the rights from DKW, and BSA also got it. So there were two different versions of this.
But yeah, except when I saw the color scheme, I was kind of thinking, is that a BSA? But then we got to like zoom in on it.
Yeah.
I think DKW also made two-stroke powered cars as well. I could be wrong there, but they did. You could get DKW cars, and I think they were. I think they were around until the late 50s, early 60s. I have to do a Google because I don't honestly remember exactly, but I remember they were around post-war as cars even.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
but
know, Harley made these.
Those little Saab two strokes definitely had that ring a ding 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 ding
Oh
ding.
yeah.
That's what this has, yeah.
Yeah.
Harley made these from 1948 to 66 in Milwaukee, so they were American made. This before they started having the Aramachi metal for Italy,
Oh
Italian.
right. Wow.
But
I like it. That's neat. That's really neat.
see,
Is
my
that the
grandfather,
horn?
that's the horn. They had a bulb horn on the.
That's hilarious. I
they
love
were
it.
the horn.
Well, just like your radios, it looks like a real attention to detail, real clean job. It looks great.
Yeah, you did a great job. Love it.
Yeah,
Absolutely love
these
it.
are
Is
the
there
Hummer
a
was
book?
more the budget model. They had a Model 165, which was a step up, and that was sort of like the difference between a Newport and a New Yorker, I guess.
Yeah. But you
The
could
one,
probably get like 50, 55 with this, 60 maybe miles per hour.
no, 50 if you're going downhill. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How I mean, any before pictures? I mean, what kind of shape was it in when you gave it?
It was actually all apart when we got it. It was just the frame was there and the wheels were there, so it was just a pile of parts. But
Wow. You did a great job. Love it. So then we'll roll up to the next thing.
so this is what he brought when he picked it up. A Zenith
Oh,
Nice.
5S 27, 1937. I
That's
guess it was
nice.
in his family from new on, and he saw what I did with radios and thought, well, maybe I could make something out of it.
So he just gave that to you?
Well, I gave him some money for it. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to take it for nothing, but
Yeah.
he knew it was going to a good home, so
Listen, I mean, you look at the base condition, it's all there. I mean, yeah, so the grill
Yeah.
cloth is a little bit haggard, but it's really not in
it's
bad
an
shape.
old
yeah, I would have
speaker.
thought, after the bike story, I would have thought it's another one of those family heirloom stories. Can I pay you to restore this one to make it look like the other ones you have, just like you fixed my bike,
Well, I think at first he was thinking about doing that, but then he figured, what am I going to do with it? So he just
No, that's
offered.
nice. I like it.
It's a fairly common Zenith. I'm sure if
Yeah.
Bob Bennett would have been here, he would be able to chime in because they sold a lot of them. They're just a 5 tuber, but
Yeah.
they have that big classic Zenith dial.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
you won't go tired of that.
Had the original wood knobs.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's really looks pretty complete. So that's a big plus to have. And the knobs look to be all in good shape too.
Yeah,
Doesn't look like it was a heavily used unit, maybe more time took its toll than anything else.
I think so. Yeah, just the way it was stored or wherever he
Yeah.
kept it. But the next
Here's
one's the
the
back
This
end.
must be the inside, before inside.
It had a really weird. Somebody had replaced the electrolytic can. There was a weird cardboard thing there over the top of the electrolytic.
Oh yeah, that is weird.
I never really understood why they put cardboard over the top of the electrolytic cans like that. But
Hmm.
that
And
got
then,
really.
so I guess,
That speaker looks a lot like what's in that Olympic.
Does it
yeah,
really? That's a
Yeah.
field coil, but
Well, yeah, it's not a field coil, but I mean that's about the size of what's in that cabinet. It's like
oh,
behind
okay.
those. It's just
So
nothing.
was
Yeah,
the
it's a 6 or
electrolytic?
7 inch. It's not a huge speaker, but
I was wondering if the electrolytic had a common ground can, or was a can floating? Because I've seen cardboard on items or units with a floating can.
it probably was floating, but it had the washer underneath that isolated from the chassis.
Oh, keep you
So
from shocking yourself, I guess.
yeah, that must be what it was for, I guess.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that could be. That's a good. I like
yeah,
that description. Yeah, because you don't want to touch that if it's
yeah,
floating.
Yeah,
sure.
that's true. That's probably what that's for.
And I guess we'll do a drum roll here. Now, I assume, Greg, you chose not to use dark red grill cloth.
Yeah, no, I think what cats is in there.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Wow, look at that. That's beautiful. Another work of art there, Mr. Van Beek.
It really had some nice wood grain patterns on the
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
it's,
in the upper left, it looked like there was. I thought it was like a knot in the wood or something, and now it's gone. Was that just some other kind of mark that you had to?
Yeah, there was something that must have spilled on it. I think when
yeah.
I stripped the cabinet, it came off whatever it was.
Yeah, too many of those radios were cup holders for, glass holders, people to put on top of the radio. Something would spill over. You get the rings on the top.
I'm just amazed at how many radios I run across where it's just spattered full of paint.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
Never moved
unbelievable. It's like, wow, wow, what a nice job. Very attractive.
Well, thank you.
Here's a spiffed up inside.
There's the
Uh-oh, but
camera.
now it's
Cardboard.
dangerous. You got to put
Yeah,
that cardboard back.
that's right. Better put his little cap on there.
Well, where it's not connected to anything anymore, it's not going to zap you if you touch it.
Right.
Oh, okay. You got the newer electrolytics under the chassis.
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
took it
Yeah.
out of the circuit totally.
Yeah, that's the way to
For
go.
the decoration.
Yep, that's what I do.
No, that's nice. And look at that dial. Yeah. That's a great job. I love that.
They were always cool the way they were black and white. When you turn them on, there's actually color behind them.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's terrific. Can't get more classic than that.
And if you look on the bottom, it actually tells you what the knob's functions are.
Right,
there.
exactly.
Yeah.
I love that right there and here, switch on. That's
So was that, did that have to just be cleaned up, or did you have to somehow repaint that, or?
No, it actually, excuse me, it was like that. Just took a dry cloth and wiped it off. Just wiped the dust off of it.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
It
it.
was in great shape. I got
Love-
lucky there. A lot of times the bulbs burn holes through those.
Right. Right.
Oh, that's great. Nice job. Really nice job.
Thank you. So it was kind of funny how a guy brings a motorcycle to be restored, and I wind up with a Zenith radio out of it.
Well, actually, that you didn't have a radio option, so you had that on the back of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
There's no battery on the bike though. You'd have to figure out how to power it off the magneto.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are kind of funny because the headlight is real dim unless you're moving with it, because
Right.
the faster it revs, the brighter the headlight gets.
Right. Right. Oh, that's great. Let's see here. I have something I can show.
All right. Is it your
Let's see.
find from Brookline?
No, actually not. Where is it? Ah, I think this is it. Yes. No, actually, I've got maybe about, I don't know, 12, 15 shots. I was at the Arizona Antique Radio Club meet back in early October, a couple of weeks ago. And there's some neat stuff. I took some shots. There were some neat radios. I thought maybe I'd share some with you guys. I took maybe, I don't know, maybe a dozen shots or so. Not many. So I could share that with you guys. Let me go back to sharing. So bad, miss you there, Rob.
Yeah, I didn't make it there, so
It was hot that
I'll
day.
bet. Yeah.
All right.
Different.
So I'm not sure what this is because I think that
Southwest
label,
and Northwest.
because I think there was a label. You can obviously see there was something here before. You can see the pinholes, and I just don't know what this was. I don't know if we can make it out, but I thought it was an interesting radio that I did not know what it was.
Does it have like two antennas that hook up to it, and you pick up one set of stations to the northwest and one set of stations to the southwest? I mean, I see two tuning dials there.
Yeah, and I'm just not sure what that's all about. Like, because you're right.
Looks like
And
there's
it's- and
call
there-
letters above.
There's
Yeah, I'm
different
looking at the-
call letters.
Yeah, that's for sure.
120.
But they're all Western, and I guess
You have to make sure that you put the radio on the shelf in the right orientation, or everything will be backwards. 'Cause
That's probably in the instruction manual.
you got to have the north and the south. You can't turn it on and put it on the opposite wall, or things will be all screwed up.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't see a dial pointer. Is that like something inside, or there should be two dial pointers maybe, or something?
You would think so, and I don't know why they're missing. I mean, this may be not fully, given the fact that it's missing its badge, it may be missing other things. Dial pointers sold separately.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
pretty cool. Though. I would have,
I've-
you know, I would at first look, it would be like, you know, okay, one side's AM and one side's FM, but they're not. They're both AM,
yeah,
and there's different call signs
and
up
there's one.
above. So it's like, you know,
Yeah, and that makes sense. It's south. This was right. Desert Southwest. You're probably looking for like I don't know Texas or whatever further
New
on
Mexico or
and
something like that, and then the other ones are up
so
in Idaho or something. You know, and you've
yeah,
got
exactly. Washington, Oregon, things like that. Yeah, all good questions.
I wonder if the pointer isn't behind the glass there, that
It
it
could
just shows
be.
up a little strip there between the numbers and the call letters.
Yep.
It could.
I don't see it there though either.
It's hard to see. If it is, it's well hidden.
You're gonna have to pop those knobs and slide that chassis out to then see what's going on.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
On there.
I hadn't seen it before. That was cool.
It looks like it only has one tuning knob though, so like both,
Yeah.
both pointers, you know, like would like do this, but then you'd think there would be like a band switch or something. Like which
Well-
scale are we using? The one on the left or the one on the right?
Well, maybe there's something in the back or the side. I forget now because I kind of just saw it. Oh, that's interesting. Took a shot and moved on. So I probably should have looked more carefully.
Oh, you didn't buy this?
No, 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 no. I have to be selective.
No, come
Right.
on. Well, that's pretty selective. I've never seen anything like that.
True.
That's pretty
Well,
cool.
I think
It apparently doesn't work in the Northeast anyways.
yeah, that's the problem. Well, the other
No, but yeah, he's got a Southwest place.
Hey.
So
Oh, there you go.
well, it's funny. If it were more complete, it might have caught my eye more. But like missing the badge, it's like I've never seen one before. How are you going to find parts for this thing?
Oh,
you have
that's
to,
all
you have
part
to
of the
make it-
fun.
Yeah, I guess.
'Cause
Yeah,
look what it says in the middle. It says it's stationized.
it is stationized.
It's stationized.
Stationized.
Yeah.
There you got to bring it to everyone's attention. Well, like I said, I do have which I have shared before. I do have my Aviola radio made locally in Phoenix. So that to me was a key thing to have, a short-lived company that was probably ultimately replaced by a runway at Sky Harbor Airport, the factory. But
If we had some young whippersnapper like Nels Anderson on the call, he would say, well, hang on a second, I'm going to take a picture of that, and then I'm going to go off to some Google app or something and say, tell me what this is a picture of. And then he would come right back with the make and the model and the
Right.
year.
yeah. Yeah, in retrospect, I should have at least had, and I don't know why I didn't do that. If I see that again, because it might not have sold, I'll have to look at the back panel, see if we can get more information on this, because inquiring
maybe
minds
there's a-
needs to know.
Could be a label on the bottom. Or,
Yeah, exactly.
If it does have a back, it might be there. Or
Yeah, I should have, and I just didn't have the wherewithal to think about that at the time.
it's, it's an oddball. I've never seen one like it.
Yeah, no, that's for
Well, a
sure.
lot of times when you run across those things at a meet like that, you don't really notice that close out what the dial is until you get the picture
Right.
and look.
Exactly what happens. In fact, I review my pictures even from Brookline. I say, damn, I should have went back and got that. Look at that. It's actually nicer than I thought. How did I miss that? Just like Tom when he was at Friedrichshafen and he's going through the
Missed that.
pictures, goes to miss that Enigma case.
Yeah.
How did I miss that? Here is in Emerson, I believe. Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about the pictures were sort of into the sun a little bit, but nice condition overall.
Got the pointed knobs and
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The bullet knobs and yeah, nice shape overall. Certainly more than whoops, sorry about that, guys. Still getting used to little UI differences with an Apple versus my Windows.
just your basic AA5.
Yeah, here's a kind of an interesting looking
Oh, there
Emerson.
works.
Yeah, pretty nice condition. Looks to be all there.
And we might have a little RCA jack in the back of it to plug in a phonograph.
Damn, I did it again.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty nice. A Packard Bell. This one looks, early 60s to me, late 50s, early 60s, I would say.
Yeah.
Whole left AM, FM. Actually, more than, otherwise in good shape.
Yeah, it would look better if it had a red grill cloth. Though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
it's
could
a,
spice that up a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little bland would be the way the thing I would use. That's what it caught my because I enjoy though I do enjoy like the post World War II AM FM's units because they're rather the
Looks
most
like, I mean,
attractive.
it's atomic, you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
Hey, John,
Yeah,
that other radio is a Packard Bell 602.
the mystery radio.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you.
you could have had a Packard.
I could have had a pack. Hey, I'm
Yeah.
gonna. It won't be much longer before I'll be working for Hewlett Packard. Speaking of Packard,
Wow.
yeah, we're being acquired. So
Ooh, insider trading info.
no, it's almost it's been reported. It's been in the news since January, so
Oh,
it's almost done. But yeah. So I'll have a Packard in my name. Whoops, damn. There we go. Look at the little arrow. So I'm thinking because you have to bring it down back to original size for the arrow to show up.
yep.
So if I have problems with my Hewlett Packard scanner, I know who to see.
Yeah, sure. Oh no, but
It's a pretty
a lot of
cool
them are
speaker.
that's nice. I like it. Now that was nice. That caught my eye. That's a very attractive.
Retractable handle on top.
Yeah, exactly. Nice little handle. I wonder if that must be an Ingram
Retractable
cabinet. I wonder.
Yeah.
Very attractive.
Ingram cabinet.
Got
Got
some
it.
kind of a acoustical labyrinth thing going on. It's like a
Yeah.
little clipshorn type deal going on there with the way that woofer's mounted there.
But nice. If it was a restoration, nicely done.
Very
Very,
nice.
very attractive looking unit. You went to nice little pinstriping and so forth. Nice style face, all nice.
Do you still have that Stromberg Carlson with the acoustic labyrinth?
No,
No
I
one?
don't.
No.
It didn't make the cut.
Didn't make the-
Oh man.
A lot of the big consoles got left behind,
Yeah.
except for
Yeah.
the giant ones that, included televisions and record players, and the triple
Okay.
thrills came down, but not just the
Right. It's a nice Sonora. Also an attractive radio. Somewhat newer than the one Rob has. But
I actually just did a Bakelite cabinet one like that, and that dial is actually a piece of curved glass.
it's very nice.
Yeah.
And also very nicely says made in the United States of America, right at that bottom
Yep.
strip.
That's
Nice
good.
looking radio. I like all the wood, the
It's a
wood
nice-
variations. Very
kind of
attractive.
swoopy. Well, see,
Yeah.
the way they made the top like that, so you couldn't put plants on top, so you wouldn't get water stains and rings and stuff on it.
Right.
Yeah, right. I thought that was nice. The Federal.
Federal.
It's nice too. Nice looking radio with sort of the metallic grill. Very nice.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
It's pretty original.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I thought it was a really either an older restoration or original, and everything looks to be in really nice nick. All the knobs looked right. Everything looked really quite nice. This here,
Looks like there's some short wave or something going on there.
yes, indeed. Now, what this is an unknown.
I actually did one in AM only like that. What the heck? It had the same cabinet.
Yeah, there's no label on it.
Let me look it up real quick.
Sure.
I think I still got a picture of it. Yeah, here we go. The one I had was a Delco.
Maybe this is.
Yeah.
Doesn't, but it's interesting though, if you looked at like Russ's Delco, it had the nice Delco script on the center of the dial face. I don't know if they did that in all of them, but
That could be just they use the cabinet on several different manufacturers.
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it looks pretty generic.
Yeah. Yeah, this needs a moderate amount of work, not serious, but so it was
Definitely
interesting.
salvageable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's
Absolutely.
get that white stuff on the knobs that Noah always likes.
Yeah, oh yeah. But
Brutal.
this was certainly needs a little bit of Greg Van Beek
You
touch.
start with the 80 grit, and then work your way down.
There you go.
Yeah.
Packard
Wow.
Bell. This is a
Yeah.
lot of Packard Bell stuff.
Yeah. That one
Those look like Zenith knobs though, or something, don't they? Or not Zenith? Or I don't know. They don't. Maybe that's just what
Yeah,
they
those
use.
pointed knobs don't look like they belong there, but maybe they do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about them. But a nice looking radio, nevertheless.
Those GE knobs or something.
Yeah.
Now I wonder if that's a true twin speaker, if they're just one opening as a speaker and the other one's just for decoration.
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh, that's funny. That was a good call from Russ because this also claims to be stationized.
Stationized.
That seems to be
Packard
the
Bells are stationized.
stationized. That seems to be.
I think stationized means it's just got the call letters all around the thing.
Yeah,
so it's got the
exactly.
stations listed because that's
Yeah.
what makes it stationized.
Nice, exactly. So you know where you are. It's just like there we go. So that's their little whoop.
See, all of Crosley's radios were stationized too. They just had WLW listed.
Right. But they have it on there as their logo, is their little thing, stationized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether this is a twin speaker because we've seen, some that are just fake, just for symmetry. They throw the grill with nothing behind it. Nice looking radio though. Yeah, it really
Yeah,
was.
very nice. Nicely done.
Yeah. Nice looking escutcheon and so forth, which is very attractive. And some scotch. This is an Emerson.
There's a desirable radio.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
That's an Emerson too. That goes from some serious dollars.
Yeah, there's a guy who has a set of, he's probably, his price is reflected, but he has a lot of some nice pieces that are hard to find. He has a nice collection of mini, those mini tube radios, they're only like
Does that have one of those curtain burner power cords on it?
Possibly.
Neat radio though.
But I'm pretty sure that's a Catalan cabinet.
Yeah, look at that. It's just terrific. Nice looking radio. Coronado.
Ooh. That's probably a 4 or 5 tube TRF.
Yeah. It's a basic rig. You even see the dot pointer, I think it's connected to the.
Oh yeah, it's very
Correct,
basic.
too.
Well, you don't have to worry about restringing it. That's hooked right. That's hooked right to the capacitor.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's fun seeing these West Coast radios because we just don't see them too much out here, but I did it again. It's very touchy. GE.
Ooh.
They're in pretty good shape. I like the swirling and so forth in the whoops.
That's very nice. Usually a lot of those are, natural finish cabinets are more plain than that.
Yeah, this one's really got some personality with the swirling. This is unusual. The Zenith, attractive looking little radio.
Wow. Yeah.
Let me see it with that. I just thought it was a smart looking radio. with the Z on the main, dial point again, no, you don't have to worry about restringing because it's right there for the world to see.
Yeah, I
And a little push
presume that's
button.
on-off volume up above it right
Yeah, I would
there.
think so, yeah.
So it's very like non-fancy that way, but then yet it comes with presets.
Yeah, I know. That's what's funny about it, but the size is nice. This is a very attractive radio.
Yeah.
They have a plastic chassis and it's mounted upside down. So the tubes are
That's
hanging
right.
upside
I
down.
did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
It looked like a little car speedometer too. It's just like, from that era. It's
Mhm.
just like, wow, really, really attractive. I liked it.
Hmm.
Yeah. There we go.
Definitely a Zenith model I'm not familiar with.
There we go. Here's another Zenith. This we've
Nice.
seen occasionally. It's a pretty nice
Interesting.
radio.
Oh, that's like that had a handle on top.
Really?
One's up. Yeah. Had a carrying handle on top.
Now
What's
this
going on up in that upper right-hand corner with the plastic base? It looks like I can see way in the upper right corner. Should I be able to see inside the cabinet over there, or is it broken yet?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Way up here.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Maybe if
Well, a lot of times those dial glasses shrink.
yeah.
Right?
Shrinkage is not a good thing.
No. No. Just,
Whoop. This was interesting.
Wow.
wow.
Um,
Beer keg or a lager.
I forgot what maker this is.
It's
Oh,
got lightning bolts and it's got a globe,
I know it's pretty cool. I like the
a chicken head.
yeah. I forgot what this is. Oh, I think it will come to me later, maybe. But I said, well, this is new. I've never seen one of these before. It's unique enough and cool enough to want it, but then you look back and say, well,
Speaker must be mounted on the side.
That's what
yeah,
I'm
I
thinking.
believe so. Yeah, I believe it is. Do I have any more of that? No, wait. Oh, right. This was interesting. This American Bosch.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
That's I've ever seen this
Oh,
all
that's
in
cool.
mirror finish. It was pretty cool.
It's right up there with those Spartan sleds.
Yeah, I was thinking Spartan sleds is something more attractive, but this was pretty cool. I think it's the first one I've ever seen.
I've never seen one either.
You can see me right up front, so you can know that confirm that I was taking a photo of it.
There's your camera.
Yeah, it's me. But I want to say, wow, I want to get a front direct shot. It's funny. It's the mirror almost wish we were sitting over.
Yep.
You can see the mirror instead of seeing carpet, to protect it. But that's the way it turned out. Yeah, it was a neat radio.
That's about as flashy as a 61 Imperial.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
No fins though.
No fins though, no.
That must be. I was wondering what this knob was here, but
Yeah.
unclear.
Fastener. I think there's one on the other side.
Oh yeah, maybe you're right. It's just fastener,
Ouch.
probably.
Could be
Yeah,
holding the chassis in place to the front panel.
yeah, you may be right. Oh, it is some tubes. There's some neat old tubes here. Look at it, Raytheon,
Wow.
Radiotron.
Those are some fancy tube cases too.
Yeah, I know, huh? That was pretty cool. And this one here is
Switching tube.
yeah, I don't know. Pretty cool stuff.
A lot of pins under it, whatever it is.
Yeah, I know. I was
A lot of little resistors down below.
A resistor, yeah. Oh yeah.
Look at those.
Wow.
Yes, oh, they're all connected. Not sure why. Yeah.
Huh.
Telefunken.
Yeah, I'll get that. I think I have a better shot on whoop. There we go. Yeah, nice. You get some nice vintage boxes too on top of it.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Speed radio tube. That's a brand I've never heard of.
yeah. That's an older Telefunken tube from probably, I'm thinking this is late 30s kind of stuff.
Yeah, that looks like one of those spray shields on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was this Hearthstone's good looking.
Ooh, nice, yeah.
Firestone Air Chief.
Now, the only thing I guess that I assume that was just aging or something. You see, that wasn't supposed to be that way, right? I think
Oh,
this the dial face. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, just kind of flaking off.
Some of those early 40s Philcos are good for that too.
Yeah. GE. Don't know. This probably is a faux twin speaker. Doesn't look fancy enough to be a real one.
I don't know. It's got a phono position.
Yes, that is true. A little crack in the plastic here. But
That's what happens when you turn the volume up too high.
there we go. That
Look at
badass.
you could replace that grill cloth with some nice red velour
Yeah.
curtain type stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But so yeah, that's the last photo. I'm quite sure of that. I remember this was the last one, but that was that event.
Well, you know what I think happened though with that grill cloth, that was sort of match your velvet smoking jacket.
Ah, okay. I was thinking it probably went with some of the furniture that was in the house, like a big red velour sofa or love seat or something, you know.
Wasn't that cranberry color popular like about 73, 74?
Yeah, but this thing is like this radio is like from best I could tell. Like I said, I could never find a schematic for it or anything, but it appeared to be like I was going to guess 66 to 69, but it could very well be 70s. I was thinking if it was 70s, there would have been like an even smaller circuit board, and there just would have been like an integrated circuit with a bunch of legs on it that did everything, the AM and the FM and the stereo, but it's literally discrete transistors all plugged in like it was not much bigger than one of those Zenith transistor radios that are collectible.
Huh.
But I'll share one additional picture more for the 'tis the season. Here we go. Let me just share. That you might enjoy this for Halloween.
Oh, there we go.
This is actually I took this. Larry Sendry sent this photo, and I doctored it up a little bit to you can do all the different like editing and get the nice gray, so this focuses this. You have the kind of cloudy outer edge, and so this is a Patterson PR10 from like around 1934, I think. So it looks pretty sinister. It's really, this is like the era of rise of the vintage machines. But nice scary looking Halloween photo to sort of wrap up the photos I have, short of me going off into it's a little too late to show off fall Brookline, which I'll do with the next meeting. Probably have some other things I could probably dig up, I'm sure. Actually, you know what? Let me look at one thing. I thought I had. Let me think. Do I have? I had some photos. No, I guess I don't. I have some photos to share that I could have shown, but I don't think I see them. Oh, well. No problem. So at this point, I'm sure I could dig up something else to share. If it means, going off into way off into a tangent, or I can cut you guys loose. I do have a semi-hard stop at 6 o'clock, so we have 20 minutes, but I can if we want to. You know what? What the hell? You know what? Just gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. What have we got here? All right, bear with me, guys. I'm just gonna. I just have to go dig things up. All right. Yeah. You know what? I could actually go to a different. Let's see. Bonds. One more second here. There's got to be. All right. I got to give you a quick walkthrough. This was. You guys prefer it. Let me go actually give some of you guys what the audience would really want. All right, here we go. All right. Yeah, okay. I'm going to give you just a little taste of what you can see. There is, let me first share. There is a.
Ooh.
There we go.
I'll go just give you a quick for 10 to 15 minutes. There is a weekly car show in Scottsdale. It's been running. It's apparently, I don't know if it's how much truth is behind it, the longest running car show in
Is it
America.
that big one at the mall? What do they call it?
Yeah, at the pavilions.
The Pavilion. Yeah. I went to
Exactly.
that one in 2001 when I went to the Barrett-Jackson stuff in
Yeah.
Scottsdale. It was an amazing cruise night.
It is. And you never know what people will show up with. And look what this showed up. This was ahead of time for Barrett-Jackson and Bonhams. This gorgeous Cadillac, I think it's a 37, shows up, and his thing is stunning.
Wow.
And just the Art Deco and I got a chance to speak to the owner, and it just pulls away. It's just it has so much torque. And he made the fully expected answer. He says they're great drivers, but boy, try stopping them.
Yeah.
They don't like doing that too much. But just look at all the details when you look at the body of the car, and just the little
Was that a
touches of the.
V16?
Yeah, I believe it is. This is
Yeah.
Cadillac's last. That's what makes it special. It is a V16. But it looks like the twin bumpers separated by just all the touches, just absolutely gorgeous. Like I saw that, my jaw dropped. I said, that I would like. It really speaks to you in that, whoops. And you get to see the motor in a moment. Let me get that picture back. There we go. There's your lab table full of engine,
Yeah.
two straight eights that are close together, and the car is great. Look at it. You could, people's dinner tables are dirtier.
Look at all those spark plug wires.
Oh gosh, yeah. But boy, it sounded nice.
Take you all day to change spark plugs on that.
Oh, sure. You could probably start it out in top gear and we'll just pull away,
Yep.
But the interior just just like, oh, it just exudes all that gorgeous,
And there's a radio too.
let's see, I'm looking. Do you see something I don't?
I see a clock.
I thought in between there might have been a radio, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. But just the instrument panel. Yeah, it's just a wow. And that's why, hey, you know, just close up to vintage radios because I mean, it's just, I mean, look at the wheel covers and all. It's just the skirt's just absolutely
Sure.
stunning. Just all the little detail stuff. It's just, yeah, the twin bumpers just, it's breathtaking. In fact, they'll tell you what this is. It is a 34 Fleetwood V16. What's it? You know, so this is rarefied air because it's the first one I've ever seen. You know, and V16 Cadillacs are not that common anyway.
And a cabriolet.
Yeah, exactly. It's all win, 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 win. There's even the color is gorgeous. I mean, it's just you're so used to seeing blacks and everything, but that steel gray, it just kind of pops. You know, again, understated elegance. You know, when Cadillac, owning a Cadillac really meant was a big deal. But you know, it's just the front
The
end.
standard of the world.
And it was. They lived up to their moniker. You know, not the best, but look at the length. I mean, this is a big boy. I mean, this thing's got length. You know, that when you're sitting behind the wheel, you know, it's like, you know, it must be what it's like to be on the bridge of the Nimbus class carrier because it's
It's a
just like
sports car. It's only got 2 doors and 1 seat.
absolutely. It's just like, when you pull up one of those, you know, 58 Chevy. Who doesn't like those? That's one to me the best looking 58 GM product they made that year. 58s were always a little bit GMs were a little bit hard to look at in some of them.
Well, they took a lot of the Cadillac styling for the face.
Yeah, you can see that because my brother had a 58 Cadillac, and there's a lot of similarity there. At least the 58 Cadillac didn't have the crazy looking fins until the following year. But yeah, that's a good looking. I always like 58 Chevys. Interior, because your typical, you know, three plus tone, 4-tone interiors really. That one's for sale too. It was for sale. That's a couple of years ago, but
Everything's for sale.
70K.
Oof.
I know it's crazy what they're getting these
It's gonna
days.
be 348 tri-power if it's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. They didn't list it, but nice two-tone. I always like that. Nice looking two-tone colors. Very attractive. Actually, nice because the main body it's more of a subtle two-tone because only the roof is the lighter color as opposed to they did the split where this one isn't. I kind of like that. I kind of prefer this. And this is what a 1670 Challenger.
I don't
What year
know
is
them that well, actually.
Yeah, 70, 71. This one you can see has the poverty caps, which I kind of like.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
this might have a
got to be a 70. I don't think it's a 71.
Yeah, it's got this 426 in there, so it's not lacking for horsepower.
Nope.
But
looks like he's parked next to some Mopar buddy or something.
oh yeah, there's lots of Mopars there. See, I didn't get that quite small enough. There we go.
Yeah, the pavilion. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's a great.
The elephant motor.
Yeah, look at that thing. Oh, here it is. Hemi 4-speed.
70. Yep. Hemi 4-speed super track pack.
Wow, the guy's had a long time, 70 since 74. It's pretty amazing.
I was thinking
probably spent $4,000 on it. Should have offered him $5,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking the Dodge Charger, they changed that smaller style in 71.
Right.
Pistol grip 4-speed.
Oh, that's right. I grabbed the car because he was pulling out.
No.
So to see him drive away is I mean, it's just amazing how long this thing is. I mean, the wheelbase, because those wheels are pretty on the outer edges. I mean, that's
Yeah.
cars can park between those wheels.
Oh yeah.
See the guy pulling away. It's just like, oh.
I'd be afraid to drive it.
I would too. Honestly, I would be because, you know, with those brakes and, you know.
Oh, and the number of idiots on the road in
Exactly.
modern vehicles who just don't understand.
Yeah, they're happy to jump in front of you and stomp on the brakes. And at least out in Arizona, they're a little more reasonable. But in Massachusetts, I wouldn't dare drive that on the Massachusetts roads. Nice to see it pull away. It was just nice to see. Sorry about that. I had to take it into the setting sun. Oh yeah, this was a let's see, it's what years. This is a Pontiac Grand Prix or Bonneville. I think maybe it's a Bonneville.
Yeah, if it was a Grand Prix, it would have to be 67 because that was the only year they did a convertible.
Yeah.
But this one, I might think there's something I didn't like about this car. That bothered me. I forgot what it was. Was it this was not the original color and they painted this, bright red? They had to pick red of all the colors, everyone
Resale red.
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
nice enough car. It looks, it's got the eight track
Speaking
player.
of 8-track.
So we got some vintage electronics in here. Yeah, with that's an accessory,
Hopefully not made by Olympic.
Yeah. But it's got the nice push button AM radio there. I don't know if that's FM as well, whether that flips. I can't tell.
No, can't tell. AC.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, out here you have to.
The big Frigidaire.
Oh, here it was. This is well loaded. Yeah, Bonneville load. You can see when you see a list this long, this thing's got that's got the 428. So this is not lacking for horsepower.
Stereo, AM and FM.
Yeah, see, yeah, it's pretty cool. So it was the flip, the
cruise control.
Look at all this door edge guards. It's right. The retractable headlamp. It's only the Grand Prix came with it, but I guess it was an option for the Bonnevilles to have that.
Yeah.
And they said, "Wow." I just love
automatic temperature controls. So.
Yeah, it's got they didn't miss a trick. You name it, got cooling lamps, automatic temperature. Like I said,
it's pretty funny though. It even has a heavy duty air cleaner, whatever the hell a heavy duty air cleaner is.
Yeah, I don't know. They paid $9.48 for it. But yeah, I mean, even look at the air conditioning. That's a sizable price for the automatic temperature control. That was $421. That's more than 10% of the price.
That's because it's not just the handle that has like red on one side for heat and blue on the other for cold. Actually, you dial it in. You say, I want it to be 69.
Right, exactly. But what a, what a neat.
It just says the pavilion in Scottsdale,
Yeah, people bring
everything out there is crazy. See, look, it was under $4,000. Offer them 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to give you 25% of the value. But
those days were much nicer when you could pick and choose what options you wanted. If you go and look at a car today, you get stuck with all these different packages and stuff. You got to take what they give you.
There we go. Oh yeah, that's right. He even had documentations.
Yeah,
they could see said that this was an announcement. So he had this. I thought, wow, that's cool. They even had this. That says it could be ordered on all Bonneville models immediately. It should be written by writing code. So yeah. So I thought it was so cool that how he came across this beyond me.
Well, they probably had a bunch of leftover parts from 67 Grand Prix that didn't sell that well. So it's like, what are we going to do with all these? Let's make an option for the 68 Bonneville.
If you ask me, they looked awesome with the hidden headlights. That's a huge win. Even the Bonnevilles, the Grand Prix look awesome with them.
Yep.
This is the Brass Hat Company car. So obviously they left the factory completely filled. 375 horsepower. That's adequate. I'm
sure it's probably got close to 500 foot-pounds of torque too.
Oh my gosh, you could pull tree trunks out of your yard with it. Yeah, this is quite the car. Well worth seeing. Maybe this is what bothered me. This is the car. That's what bothered me. They repainted it and said, "Why did you do that? Why isn't it the original color?" I hate that. And if you pick any color, pick black, paint white, but don't do it in red. That's what I didn't like about it. I remember saying, wow, what a neat car. But then look, you know, so whatever. I mean, it's to each his own. But I would have kept it. I'm one of those people that want it as close to original as possible. Oh yeah, these are kind of neat. You never see these anymore.
Oh,
This is
wow, my grandma had one of those.
the old, but this is
Neat.
the touring edition.
Is it an old Cutlass
Yeah,
Sierra or
right. So,
something?
yeah, it's the touring sedan. Only they
Oh,
made it
touring
fairly.
sedan.
This one I think was this for sale? I actually kind of liked it. Of course, it's got the
There's a
bulletproof.
place for that, but it's not there. It's supposed to be at a place called Radwood, where they celebrate all the not so favorite cars of the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, although honestly, these are probably and I think this generation, and it goes to the GMs in general, are underrated because they had the bulletproof, 3.8 liter
Oh, yeah.
V6, and they really are. Those are 200,000-mile motors without a problem if you
Yep.
take care of them. And actually, and the build quality was decent on those back then. So it actually, if you wanted a classic car that you could get parts for, you can put whatever gas you want in there. It wouldn't be a bad choice, and you could drive it,
It was a
without putting.
similarly size, shape, whatever. Like they had downsized the Cadillac at this time too. Like,
Yeah,
this Cadillac Seville that was
right.
basically they were just badge engineered type
Right.
vehicles.
If you ask me, the Olds and the Pontiac were the nicest, and even the Buick those were actually the nicest. If you could get them with their special edition, the performance ones, they were actually good looking cars, especially as a two-door. They actually made it fairly good looking two doors.
Yeah, Olds had the 98, Buick had the Park Avenue, and then there was
Exactly. Yeah, this is
Yep, 87.
Yeah, a low production car, with decent suspension because they put a sports suspension in there. It was a nice car. And this was in good shape. No vinyl roof too.
Yeah.
Whew. That's what made
Right.
the touring edition, because you didn't have the vinyl roof. You made actually kind of look more like a European sedan, but
my grandma had an 86 and an 89, 98 Regency Brougham.
oh yeah, sure. But nice. I like the even the shift thing. I thought was rather nice. It's actually pretty nifty.
Yeah,
I don't
hers was
mind.
on the column.
But I'll tell you what, I'll show one more and then I'll let you guys cut you guys loose. Who doesn't like
The
old
Toronado.
Stornado?
Here we go, 68.
Make mine a first year,
66, 67. After that, you can keep them.
Yeah, it's got to be a 68, huh?
Yeah,
8 or 9.
Yeah, they kind of wrecked up with that. Said no. It was just a little too.
They had it right in 66 and 7.
You look at the 67, it looks so cool and avant-garde even today.
Yep. So
This-
speaking of Oldsmobiles
this was original car.
that
Sorry.
I thought were cool that you don't see anymore. When was the last time you saw an Oldsmobile Aurora?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You see them
I like the look of those.
Yeah.
And I love the interior with the kind of wraparound like cockpit thing
Yeah.
that you sat in and all that. I guess the North Star wound up not having a very good reputation as an engine, but
Yeah.
give me one of those original Auroras with like a LS3 transplant in it, and you could like have a ball with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the only problem, the trick is that it's front-wheel drive, the Aurora, right? So you kind of have
I
to.
don't even know. I can't
Yeah, they
remember.
were.
I just remember the look of the car,
I
both
agree.
inside and out was nice. And
Agreed.
I don't think anybody else liked them because you didn't see many of them when they came out, and it's been decades since I've seen one anywhere.
Well, like you said, they took the place of the Tornado.
Yep.
They stopped production on those.
But
After they downsized them, they were basically a Calais.
Yeah. But this was for sale. It was okay. It was original, apparently, from my understanding. So, but I just that they ruined the front end when they started monkeying around.
They kind of ruined a little bit too. Look what
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You just don't mess with success, but they insisted anyway. It
Yeah.
is too bad. Well, with that note, guys, I thought I would just share a little filler. I know it's a
it
filler,
was
but
fun.
I thought you might enjoy it. I just randomly picked something. I was thinking, 23 had some neat cars and just a little bit of filler, but
Yep.
Any rate, guys, next meeting will be on November 6th. I do plan to try and keep to that as best I can. And we'll take a look at what happened at Fall Brookline from the still shots. And any
Sounds
rate,
good. I'll give you an update on my experiments with trying to make some halfway decent sound come out of that nasty Olympic.
sounds great. Until then, guys, wishing you a happy Halloween and a good start to the month of November. And Thanksgiving will be coming, charging hard before we know it.
Wow.
So, but any rate, stay well, enjoy your 2
All right.
weeks, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
All righty, thank you.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Really enjoy.
Take care.
Good night.
Bye, guys.